want our children to ask. It's a godly principle to ask your parents. We're talking about at the wrong time and the wrong thing. We're talking about, you know, someone in the checkout aisle and they're begging for something that they don't need, you know, and it's an impulsive thing.
Right.
And we don't want our children to be preconditioned or trained to purchase things or desire something or want to get something just on impulse.
No,
just
and we don't want to teach them that they deserve something either.
That's right.
You know,
That's
I mean,
very important.
It's a treat. I mean, it's a treat. It's a reward.
Don't you think that's a problem though today, that a lot of children, and it's our fault, it's not the children's fault,
Yeah.
but they think that they deserve,
Right.
and it keeps them from appreciating.
I know in all these little league programs that we have now in the schools and all the different activities that kids are involved in, even at school, the rewards program at school, they give out rewards to everybody because they don't want anybody to feel left out. Well, to me, that sort of does away with the reward in the first place.
It makes it meaningless.
You're right, it makes it meaningless. I mean, it should be something, it's an achievement or, you know, it's a reward for something.
It seems like today, you know, in our society, you know, people really, I mean, they profess to care about children, but they don't really. They don't really care about them. But, and again, I think a lot of what drives people is guilt.
That's very difficult.
They're not there for their children.
That's very
They
difficult.
feel, now, I'm saying, there are parents who feel guilt and they shouldn't feel guilt. I've counseled parents that way. You know, I mean, a single mother has to work. She has to. The church then needs to help, do all they can. But now that same single mother has to understand, since she is raising her children alone, then she needs to make the most of the time when she has them. That means I don't think it's a wise thing for a single parent to get involved in too many extracurricular activities. I mean, I think some of those things are okay, like the soccer, baseball for their children, things like that. But that's not time that you're spending.
No.
You're not teaching your children. Someone else is.
Right. And children tend to think it's all about me and it's all
That's
about the
right.
activities I deserve and what I get to do.
And come and watch me.
Right. It's
Did you
not
see?
about for
Did
the
you
good
see
of
the
the
shot
family.
I made?
Yeah.
You know, did you see what I did? And it's okay to acknowledge when someone does something.
Right.
But you know, you can go so far.
You can go too far.
We don't want glory to come back to people, period. We want glory to come back to God. And we want to teach them that every good thing comes from God and that we should be grateful. But it's not, you know, we didn't create these things. We just receive them.
You have a great principle that's really blessed me a lot, and it's that being subject to the mission.
Right.
And a family should have a mission. I mean,
Well, the
they're
word, you know, submission. Submission, we have a booklet.
subject to the mission.
Yeah, we have a booklet called Submission, from your will to God's will. And submission, the word submission means being subject to the mission.
Right.
Subjecting yourself to the mission. Of course, the mission is anything that God has preordained for your purpose.
Right. Instead of that, a lot of children just think, and you're right, it's our fault, that it's all about mommy raising me to have a good time, to have a good life, to get what I want, instead of what can I do to actually help the good of the family, you know. And that's why it's so important, too, to have chores for your children and things that maybe they don't get paid for, but something they should do for the family, for the good of the family. Because like you said, mom goes out and works all day long to provide food and clothing and housing for the child, and they need to get the reality check that stuff's not going to be handed to them when they get grown.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's a wise thing to pay children to do those things in the form of an allowance or something
No,
like
I
that.
don't either.
Now, I don't think it's wrong to give an allowance to children so that they can learn to manage
To
money.
be responsible.
And to be responsible with money. But we're talking about if it is connected to performing functions and serving the family, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nobody pays you or me to read a bedtime story to our children.
No.
You see, we do that because we love them and we want to you know,
Or to do
teach
their
them.
laundry,
Or
or
do
to
the-
cook their meals,
Absolutely, or to take them fishing or
Right.
something like that. But I remember one year, you know, with our fourth son, Michael, who wanted to play baseball one year. And, you know, I grew up as an athlete. I grew up playing baseball. And I played on the team from the time I was 6 years old, you know, till I was in the teenager. And then, you know, in the church we had softball leagues, and we traveled to several states playing softball, you know, until I got to be 35 years old. Well, you know, I love sports, always involved in sports, and Michael, my first son, the number 4 child in our family, was interested when he was little in playing some baseball. And that year, you know, we signed him up for baseball, and he played on the team. And, you know, that was a pretty miserable summer. Now, we enjoyed watching him play, but, you know, we weren't spending time with him. We were spending time watching him with other people. And again, that's not wrong. It certainly wouldn't have been wrong for us, because, you know, I've been able to be at home most of the time with the children, and so have you. So the children have always had us there.
Right.
And so, you know, I think that, you know, something like that, we could have done that. But I was thinking, well, this time that we're using to take him to baseball practice, to take him to the games, to watch the games, this time we could be using going fishing, we could be picnicking, going canoeing. You know, I mean, right here in Russellville, Arkansas, from my home, I could be at the lake in 3 or 4 minutes. You know, and we have a boat, and so, you know, we can spend time together. There's this area where we live in here, I mean, it's just any direction you go, there's parks, and there's water, and there's streams. The Arkansas River is 4 miles right over here. The lake is just right here.
Well, that's the things I remember as a child, is my dad took us camping almost every weekend, and that's what I remember. It's not the activities at school or the neighborhood, you know, games we were involved in. It's that my dad took us camping and we were together as a family, and those are really fond memories. And I think that's what your kids will remember.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about school, they're with other children all day.
Yeah.
They're with teachers. They have people that they're connected to, but it's not a family connection. And so then in the summertime, if both parents work, then there's daycare and or babysitter. And then when you're talking about the other activities, it can seem good. I mean, boys and girls club, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, all of that seems good, but you really need to weigh it, because everything that we're talking about there takes one thing, and that's time, and a lot of it. And time is the one precious commodity that we can never recover. Now, we can replace money, we can replace things, but we can never replace time. Time is the most precious commodity that God has given us, and we do not know how much time we have.
And our children won't always be with us either.
No,
And they
they
won't
won't.
always be little and teachable.